My friends call me usually Kayvan, but Vaughn, I get quite a bit as well. I've been coming down to Trinidad and Raton for almost 3 years now. Coming from Denver and getting back into a small town, understanding the importance of family and the people kind of in your core circle. When you live in a smaller town, in a smaller place with fewer people, I think it really creates a lot more value in those close relationships. What makes them that much more important. Also, just to slow down. That's something that's very hard to do in a big city. Being in Denver and just not having peace and quiet, not having open space where there are no people, not having as much privacy as I think you can garner in a place like Trinidad or Raton. The last couple of years have been a great exercise in thinking about what brings me joy when I work on it. And if it doesn't, realizing that it might be better to cut that off. And that's kind of what I'm going through right now. So focusing on projects like this theater that we're sitting in, which was just a really cool creative endeavor and something I wouldn't have had the chance to do in many other towns. To be a part of a healthy food system down here with our farm and bringing fresh produce to an area that doesn't have a lot of it is a really cool opportunity. My time in the cannabis industry, and I think the trauma that seeded in me from my time working in that industry for so long, and realized that I don't want to do it anymore. Between adopting girls and getting out of a political campaign and exiting an industry after almost a decade, I was ready for a change and quiet and some peace, and this place offered it to me. I can say right now, if it weren't for my girls, still living in Denver and me splitting my time for that reason, I'd probably be down here full time. Since moving here, the changes that have probably made the biggest impact is the momentum that we're gaining in kind of being in unison in what we want this place to be. We've seen a lot more young folks move down here that are pushing in the same direction as myself and others that moved down here early on, and that we found a lot of opportunity to work together on things that are really important to everybody that's here, local job creation and local ownership and healthy food systems and thriving creative culture and building this rec industry together, because we know how important that's going to be for the economic vitality of the town. Before I got to Raton or Trinidad, had the pizzeria and the cannabis business and the consultancy and the arts magazine and the real estate work. So coming down to Trinidad and Raton and having all these different buildings with different businesses in them, different problems to solve, being able to move around and work on something new depending on where my mind and emotions are. Having a dad that wasn't around all that often, who had put us in some financial difficulties because of a gambling addiction. To have a mom that worked 2 to 3 jobs most of my childhood to keep us afloat after we lost our house, I think made change seem less scary, because I think I got to understand it's pretty inevitable at any point in life. I get less emotional about change than a lot of people around me. You can't lack emotion forever, but at the end of projects, I take time to reflect and have my emotion about things. But in the moment, it's about getting things done and trying to make them successful. In Raton specifically, because there's not a whole lot that drives people to where we're at right now, which is the historic downtown. As businesses are coming back here, we're starting to see more life in the historic downtown, but you can't really see it unless you're walking around. Spend an hour or two just walking every city block, checking out these historic buildings, peering in windows, visiting the shops, because I think there are some surprises here that you just wouldn't see otherwise. If I were to leave Raton, probably the thing I'd miss the most would be the people that I've met here. There's not a lot of places in the country that are really proud of their history. So I really appreciate that about here. I have worked all across the country in small towns too, in Midwest, out east, and in the cannabis industry, a lot of big cities. That made a lot of friends, but when they were gone, I don't know that I necessarily miss them for whatever reason. But down here, it's different. People are a little bit more genuine, I think, than in a lot of places of the world. And I think I would miss that.